Good morning, everybody. So, yesterday we were talking about how to make the different diagrams, right? I have downloaded a software, one more software which is there, Visual Paradigm. So, this is what opens in this. I'm just going to diagram, and I'm saying new. You can open a class diagram. There are different types of diagrams here, activity diagram, whatever. So you can open that. I'm taking a blank diagram, right? And you can name the diagram name you can give here. I've just open it like this, right? So this is your class symbol. From here, I'm taking it. This is your class symbol. So you can like if I want to make the diagram for this only, uh, for this one which is there. So you have university, right? Name, address, and phone. And right click on this and you say add attributes. Right here you can you have name, right? So name is there, address and phone. Address. You can give the data type also if you want. And this is phone. Right, like that. Again, right click on this, add the operations. You can add operations here. So you have add school, remove school, add student, remove student, get school, get all school, get student. So you have add school, right? Remove school, school, then add student, remove student, then what is there? Get school, get all school, and get student. So this is the university which we have created, right? Right now, we make another class here, right, which is school name. So we are making this as school, and we'll say add attribute. So we have name. Can give the data type if you want. Then we add the operation. So we have add faculty, remove faculty, add program, remove program. Faculty, faculty, add program, remove program. So this is your school, and the relationship between school and this we have to create, right? So we'll pick up from here. This is generalization. I'm just seeing aggregation. Where is that? Inside aggregation, you have this. So I'm just creating it. So this is how we have created the aggregation. If you see, right, this was what. So one to many it has. If we want to do that, I have to add in this. Okay, let me see if I have to. So you can convert this to code through here. You have in the tools you have code, and you can generate a code in C++ for this kind of a thing. So that is what I am telling you. So again, we have a faculty. Again, we can create that. We can create a programs, a student. So all these things can be created. This is visual paradigm. You can access it, or you can download it, and the free version requires you to be added into a community to your name and email address. You can do that. So that is one part of it, right? So in your block 4, we were I was telling you how you are mapping design to code. So you have designed your class diagram or whatever diagram, interaction or whatever diagram. Now you have to implement the code. Right. So we have already seen that a class diagram is a structural diagram or a static diagram, which is giving us the classes and their attribute operations and relationship. Right. So like here they are saying you have a teacher and a student. Right. So class teacher with so you are making like this a student class, string roll number, string name, right? And public student, string roll number, string name. You are passing. This is the constructor you are creating. This dot roll number is equal to roll number. This dot name is equal to name. So this is your constructor which you have created for the class student, right? You are initializing the roll number and all. And public string get detail, return roll number plus name. So you this function is returning your roll number plus name. This is a class student. Now class teacher, you are saying public void view student, right? This function you are creating here. So this is view student here. If you see, in this you have view student. In this you have roll number, name, which you have defined in the constructor, and here you are saying get detail as a function in the student class, and the class teacher has this function. So this is what implementing the diagram into code means, right? So actual implementation in Java they have done here. Public class example, public static void main, student S1. So this is the object created for class student S1. is equal to new student, and you are passing the values of the roll number and name here. Teacher T1, this is the object created for teacher class. T1 is equal to new teacher, T1 dot view student, and you are passing S1 here. This is the object of the class being passed here. So if you see, this is the object which is passed in the teacher class. So if you see, you have made the same class student, and the teacher, you're saying public void view student, student S. So you are passing this object of the class student in the view student parameter, in the function parameter. Scanner, scan is going to new scanner, system dot in, system dot out, print ln, enter student roll number. You will enter the student roll number here. String get roll number is equal to scan dot next line. So you are input, you are taking from the user. If get roll number dot equals s roll number, so they are comparing. If your what roll number you have got here equals s dot roll number, s dot roll number means this student class roll number is the same, is equals, then you print the details of that student. So it will print the details. So that is how they have implemented it. This is a simple relationship, teacher and student, right? This is how implementation they have done. Then implementing associations, if you have to implement associations, right, so how will you do that? So you have unidirectional, bidirectional, different types of associations are there. Like here you say manager works for the bank, and manager manages the account, and account are part of the bank aggregation relationship, right? So, define classes such as manager, account, bank, and an association between manager and bank classes. Here, the manager works for the bank and might manage many accounts of people in the bank, right? So, if one-to-one relationship exists between bank and manager, then the simple pointer is used. If there are one-to-many relationship, then multiple pointers are used for implementing unidirectional or one-way association. So, that is what they are talking about. As far as bidirectional association, they traverse in both directions. Generally, such association do not traverse with equal frequency in both directions. If bidirectional association traverses with more frequencies in both directions, attribute should be implemented using a set of pointers. So they are saying you have to set pointers and all to do that, right? We are not. So here we are doing unidirectional implementation one to one, right? So this is optional association. So in optional association, a link between the participating object may or may not exist. This type of association is implemented in one direction only. Like an optional association between two classes of person and credit card. Every person may or may not have a credit card. It only depends upon the person's need who desires to take a credit card. So if you have a person and a credit card and it's an optional association, right? Then public class person, private credit card, C card. So object of the credit card class has been created here. Public credit card, get credit card, return C card, public void set card. So here also they are calling the object of the credit card. This way they have made it. So you will make a class person and class credit card, and you are calling the credit card object in the person class only. This is how. Then one to one association, if you have a clock and a display, right? Again, you are creating this object of the display a class inside the clock class. Uh, right here they are saying if you have a one-to-one relationship, person and account, one person has one account. If you have one-to-one relationship, right? So class person is there, you private account, and the account class object is created inside the person class, right? So that is how you can create that. You can also call the function of the account class here inside the person class. Then you have many to many, multiplicity. If you have one to many, you can say. So a teacher teaches many students, one to many. So class teacher is there. So here they have vectors, student object they have created, right? Public void add student. Here they are passing a student uh, object, class object as a parameter. To object dot add elements to public void remove. So they are removing and adding the student by the teacher this way. So you will make a teacher class, a student class, and the student object is called here inside the teacher class. This is how they have created one to many. Then they are talking about bidirectional, one to one bidirectional both way associations are there. So if both way are there, like they are saying public class, person, private account. So this object has been created for the account class, public person. So this is your constructor they have created, and this is the function they are accessing from the account class, get account, right? So public class account is this. Here also they have created the person class object inside this public account, person. They have passed the object here, right? And here they are calling get person here. So why? So this way they are creating class. Uh, what you say? Different classes into your code. So this is person and this is account, and this is one to many. One person can have many accounts. So this is one to many association they have created. Account is there and person is there. So different implementations have been given. I'm just telling you. Just simple things you have to show, not the full implementation, only the simple things you have to show. That is what is important in this. So, for example, here they are talking about the collaboration diagram. This is your collaboration diagram. Object A sends a message that if A is greater than B, then message 1 is passed to object B, right? Otherwise, message 2 is passed to object C, something like that. So, if A is greater than B, implementation will be object B dot message 1. So, object B will be passed message 1. Otherwise, else object C dot message 2 will be passed. From this, the implementation will be like this, right? Now they here they are saying, let us consider a collaboration diagram for ATM transaction. Consider customer can insert ATM card into the card reader of the ATM console. The card reader reads and verifies the card. ATM console displays a message and prompts the customer to enter pin. Customer enters pin. ATM console verifies PIN with the bank database and confirms the PIN is valid. If PIN is valid, ATM console notifies the customer with a message and ejects the card. If PIN is valid, ATM console represents a prompt with options such as deposit, withdraw, and transfer money. Customer selects withdraw option. ATM console prompts customer to the prompt to the customer for an accurate amount to be withdrawn. The customer enters the amount. ATM console verifies with the bank database whether the customer account has sufficient funds. Otherwise, shows an insufficient fund message, and ATM console deducts money from customer's account, puts the requested amount in cash dispenser, and prints a receipt. ATM console rejects the card and becomes ready for another transaction. So using the above flow of messages, you can construct the collaboration diagram. So here the collaboration diagram has been constructed. You have a customer, card reader, ATM console, bank database, cash dispenser. So first the customer inserts the card in the card reader in the ATM. Then the card is read. by the ATM console, right? Then the ATM console prompts PIN to the customer, third message, right? Then the fourth message is the customer enters the PIN to the ATM console, right? And then the PIN is verified by the bank database, right? And if your PIN is not correct, it will prompt you a message, eject card, right? If it is fine, then it will prompt you to for options, right? To the ATM console, we prompt options to the customer. The customer selects the option is the next one, right? Then that option is withdrawal, and then ninth is the ATM console will prompt for the amount to the customer. Customer enters the amount at at the ATM console. Then ATM console verifies the amount from the bank database, right? If it is okay, then it is deducted. The amount is deducted from the bank database, right? And then the bank will put the cash in the cash dispenser and print the receipt. So this is the communication or collaboration diagram which is created. Now, when you create a collaboration diagram for the real business application, you can create methods as per need, the classes and their methods. So how from this how you are creating the methods. So if you see you have a customer class, suppose you have a customer class, inside what all things will, what are the methods which you are doing, you are one method is insert card, another is enter amount, another is select option, another is enter pin. From this only you are taking out the methods. Customer is inserting the card, entering the amount, selecting the option, entering the pin. Then next is card reader. So card reader has only one method, that is read card. Method means operation, read card or function, right? Then you have ATM console. ATM console is prompt pin, prompt option, prompt amount, verify pin, right? So these are the thing. And bank database has options like deduct amount, right? Put cash, print receipt, eject card, right? All these are your bank database. So this way. So these are the classes you are finding out, and the methods that those classes will be doing according to this scenario. So this is what they are telling you. So now you can transform methods defined in the collaboration diagram into executable code. You inscribe source code yourself or use software tools such as Ellipse and concurrent version systems. There are a number of methods in figure this. So now you can just make this thing through software tools, or you can make try to make this methods into code like they are saying this method. So they in the figure the pseudocode is given for verify pin method. This method verifies a customer's personal identification number pin using data retrieved from the ATM card magnetic strip. This method asks the customer to enter their pin using the keypad of ATM console. If the pin does not equal to the pin stored on the card, then the ATM system allows a limited number of repeats. If it is still not matched, then the system invokes eject card method and card is seized. So you have maximum at times 3 is there. If you enter wrong pin 3 times, it will eject the card. Right. So they have created a pseudocode here. So you have the method verify pin. You have created constant number of max pin is 2. So you get a constant value. 2 maximum number of pins you can enter is 2. So they have created 2. You can create 3 also. Variable pin. So you have created variable like pin count as number, right? Set pin count to 0. So you are initializing pin count to 0. Read pin from ATM card. So now you are in you the customer will input the pin, right? And loop until pin count is equal to number of max pins. So you if you are you your loop will work until, or your taking of the pin will work until your pin count reaches the maximum pin. Initially it is 0, so the maximum pin is 2. So until reaches 2, you will accept the pin from the customer if he enters wrong pin. Now input pin from customer. So the ATM card has a set pin, that pin is read from the ATM card, and now you are taking the pin from the customer, right, inside the loop, right. If pin matches with card pin, that means this ATM card pin matches with this pin entered by the customer, right, from the database, then call prompt option method, then you will call the next method, right. So so this is working. And if add 1 to pin count end loop. So if this matches, so this is there. Otherwise, what will it do? It will add, if it does not match, it will add 1 to the pin count, right. If it doesn't matches, it add 1 to the pin count, right. And there should be an option that if entered pin matches this, and then you then you call the prompt option method, you go out of the loop. But if this doesn't matches, then you are adding 1 to the pin. That means one time you have entered wrong pin, not second time you again ask user to input the pin. Then again, suppose it matches, then it will go to prompt option out of the loop. Otherwise, it will again add 1, that becomes 2. So now it becomes 2, right. And again you enter the pin, right. And this time, if it doesn't match, and now you come out of the loop. So if pin count is equal to number of max pins, so if your pin count becomes equal to number of max pin, then seize customer card, or else call eject card method, right. And so this is how they have created this pin verify pin method, you can say. So this verify pin method is created like this. So just an example they are giving how you can consider it in program, right. So this is another example they are giving of program management system. Again, admin, program coordinator, program course, and faculty. So again, you find out what are the different methods associated with each other, right. So that is what they are giving you, same way, right. Then implementing constraints. So you remember we give constraints in database also. In database also you can give constraints, and you can give constraints in your programs also. So like not null is a constraint. Not null means value should not be null in certain attributes. So that way, right. You can give constraints also. Like here, employee, the constraint is salary should be less than equal to boss salary. Boss means your senior. So your senior boss salary is more than yours, so salary should less than be equal to boss salary of the employee. This is the constraint they have given. This kind of a thing. Like here they are saying, for a job, the age of the candidate should be less than equal to 30. This is a constraint. Up to 30 years of age, the constraint is this. So this kind of a thing. Here they are saying in a saving bank account, the constraint is withdrawal amount should be greater than equal to balance amount. I think withdrawal amount should be less than equal to, not greater than equal to balance amount. This they have. So if withdrawal amount is greater than equal to balance amount is equal to balance amount. So they should be less than, not greater than. If so, like here they are saying public class saving bank account. So this is your saving bank account class. You are creating a withdraw method. This is the withdraw method, and in double withdrawal amount is passed as a parameter here. Then private balance amount. If Withdrawal amount is greater than, not great, it should not be greater than, should be less than. With amount which you are withdrawing should be less than your balance amount in the account. So if it is less than equal to balance amount, then you will deduct from the balance amount the withdrawal amount. Otherwise, you will show an error. So this is wrong. This should be less than. So these kinds of things you are creating in your code, right? Just an implementation. So there are different implementation, like here you are creating a state chart diagram. You are starting authentication, seat availability, booking ticket, payment and ticket printing and stop. So this is for booking tickets, right? First you start and you enter your login details and you go to authentication. If your login details are invalid, you can give a condition here. If it is invalid, you go back to authentication page again, you enter your details, login details. Otherwise, if your login details are correct, you can, and then you go to seat availability check, enter the ticket details, right? Then you go to ticket booking, enter the passenger details and go to ticket booking if seats are available, right? And then you make payment for that particular seat. If invalid payment is there, or you have entered the wrong payment method or wrong card details or whatever, then it comes back to payment option again. Otherwise, if successful, it goes to ticket printing and log out or stop. This is a state chart diagram for ticket booking, right? So, this also you can implement in a code. This also you can implement in the code, same way which we have seen earlier. So this is what they are telling you. Like here they are saying stop and play, start button and stop button. So they this kind of a thing. So I'm not going for that. Just talking about different things in that. Now in your this, so this is how you implement code in your so this is implement following association in C++ or Java. So you train journey and train,
അല്ല,
right?
ഞാൻ മലയാളത്തിൽ ക്ലാസ് കേട്ടോളാം.
Whose mic is on?
MUനിസിന്റെ മലയാളത്തിൽ ഞാൻ കേട്ടോളാം. മലയാളത്തിൽ കേട്ടിട്ട് ഇംഗ്ലീഷിൽ എഴുതണ്ടോ? മലയാളത്തിൽ എഴുതാൻ പറ്റും.
Matthew, please mute your mic.
Sorry, miss.
So all these associations are there: train, journey and train. Again you can create train class and train journey class and train class, right? So you can create this class and have a object of the train or a train journey in the train class, or right, that you can show. Then again person and a bank account you can show. Again this example is given in your book. The same way that is given in your book, you can implement that. You can create a person class and a bank account class, right? Then now this one, do mapping of the following classes into database tables. Now suppose you have this customer order association class. So this is your these are your order thing which is going on: customer, order, product and order line. These are there. Now how do you convert this into a database? So if we have to convert this into a database, so we are talking about now, remember one theory question was asked, what is persistent data? So persistent means permanent, right? So here if you talk about in files or databases, the object life is longer than duration of the process creating and using the object in a program. This property by which an object stays even after its initiator concludes close the program is known as persistence. Persistence is important for enterprise application because it gives required access to relational databases. So what is data persistence is? Persistent data may give useful mechanism for passing data between programs and permit the program to resume programming after a while, because already the data is saved, whatever level it is saved. So it is a permanent data. So here we are talking about persistent data. The persistent data is steady and restorable and is accessible after closing the application. This type of data must be saved into a database or internal or external memory. Whereas non-persistent data is not accessible after closing the application. This is temporary and this is permanent persistent data. So we are talking also, you may be asked transient data or persistent data. The transient data is temporary in nature and do not have any representation and identifier value in the database. Transient data is stored in random access memory and valid only inside a program. It is lost whenever the program terminates. But persistent data is saved to the database and it survives after transaction updates or program concludes. Generally, persistent data is used to specify the shared, accessed, and updated databases across transactions. So persistent is permanent data which is stored in the database. Transient is temporary data which is in RAM until the program term. When the program terminates, it goes off, right? Then they are asked. You may be asked about serialization also. Serialization is the process of transforming an object into byte streams or to store the object to memory or a database. So the serialization main objective is to save an object state so that it recreates when needed. So what happens is, suppose you have an object, right, and some processing happens. It is not completed, but some part is completed and some part is left. So whatever is there, you are saving it in the database, and serialization helps you to save the object state up to whatever state it has gone, and then when you again come back to that object, it you can recreate it, or you can again implement whatever was left with it. So that is what serialization helps you. So the inverse process is known as deserialization, and this process is used to convert byte stream to actual Java objects in memory. So this the creation of byte stream is platform independent. So the object serialized on one platform can be deserialized on different platforms. So that is what they are talking about, serialization. So we are now going to talk about databases. So you should know relation about relational database, right? We have talked about earlier also. DBMS is there. So you have database schema, right? The structure of your database is the schema, right? So you have tables and their fields and columns, attributes, whatever. You have data constraints. Constraints are the primary, unique key, default, check constraint. There are different kinds of constraints you can apply. Not null is another constraint. You have data dictionary. Data dictionary is a metadata. That means data about data, explanation of the data you have put in the database. So that is data dictionary. Data about data. Database design. Now you can design the database through diagrams. Entity relationship diagrams are there, right? So you can design the database through that. So there are three schema architecture. You have the schema, or the structure of the database is three schema architecture: external schema, conceptual schema, and internal schema. External schema is external view which represents some portion of the entire database. It is a higher order view, higher order abstraction which is seen by the user, right? The next level is conceptual view, which represents data logically. It defines what data is stored really in the database. The third level architecture is the internal schema, which shows the lowest level of abstraction and closest to physical storage. So this is the physical storage. This is the logical data, how data is stored in the database, and this is the external view or the external schema, which is how the user is seen. The user is seeing the database, right? This is how it is defined, the three schema architecture. So RDBMS logical data structure. So it is a relational database. RDBMS. R means relational database management system. It's a computer program based on relational data model. So EF Cord, Edgar F. Cord invented it. So relational model can store data with one or more relation, that is tables. A relation is a two-dimensional table, that is row and column. In relation table, data is stored in the form of tuple, that is rows and columns. Right? Columns are your attributes and tuples are your records or rows. A row is a horizontal portion of the table. One row denotes one record of the table. Each row in a table is identified by a primary key that does not permit duplicate row. So it is primary keys uniquely identifies each row or each. So columns of a table are called as field or attributes. Column is the vertical portion of the table. The number of attribute or column in a table is known as degree of the relation table. So if you have to find out the degree of a table, right, that will be the number of attributes, and the cardinality of the relation, that is number of rows, how many records are there, that is the cardinality. Right. So relational. So we are talking about this. So you have structured query language in this RDBMS. Select query. You apply. You have DDL, data definition language. So in SQL, to process SQL commands, you have data definition language (DDL), where you have create, drop, alter. All these commands come under DDL. And data manipulation language, your update, delete, insert, select, all come in data manipulation language. So that is what they are talking about. So select is one of them. Select star from table, whatever you can say. You can give the column names also. Then you can also be asked about RDBMS integrity rules. So you have entity integrity and referential integrity. Two rules of integrity are there. So entity integrity, what does that means? It defines that each table have exactly one primary key. So each table will have one primary key, that is your entity integrity. A primary key is a set of one or more attributes that can uniquely identify each row in a relation. Right. And what is referential integrity? It reads that a foreign key must have a matching primary key. Referential integrity constraint ensures that relationship between records in related tables are valid. So if you have to if you have this course table and student table, if you have to set a relationship between these two tables, the course table have course code and course name as the attributes or the fields, and these are the records you have. MCS 218 data communication. So these are the records, and student table has roll number, name, age, and course code as the attribute, and these are the records or tuples. So if if I want to set a relationship between both of them, in student table I have put course code here, and course code is the primary key in course table, and course code in student table is the foreign key. To connect both of them, to have a relationship, both of them we have made up. So this is known as referential integrity. It needs that a foreign key must have a primary key, matching primary key. Referential integrity concerns ensure that relationship between records in related tables are valid. The foreign key is a primary key of one table that is embedded in another other table. This is how. So that is what they are telling. Then you have normal forms, right? I'm not talking about normal forms right now. So now if we implement object classes, I'm just going ahead. So this is vertical partition. So what is vertical partition is that student ID name, student ID address. That means you had three fields: student ID, name, and address. So vertically you have partitioned the table: student ID and name, student ID and address. Right. Horizontal partition is like this: student ID, name, address. So one record you have this, and another record you have separately done that. This is known as horizontal partition. This is vertical partitioning. Vertical partitioning means dividing the columns. Student ID, name and address, 3 columns were there. You have divided student ID name and student ID address. This is vertical partitioning. Horizontal partitioning is dividing the records. Student ID name address 1 and 2 are there. Student ID name address, third record is separate. This is what they are talking about. Right now, the to create a suppose this is your table. This is a table student with name and address in the class diagram. Suppose this is a class diagram for uh, student name and address. So you can make that. Here they have added student ID also as a primary key. So if you see attribute name, null and domain, table model will be like this. So student ID, the null value will be not null. Why not null? Because primary key will not contain any null value, and the domain is ID. Name will be not null. Again, name, address, null can be there. That means it is not compulsory to give the address. So you can keep null there. So that is what the model is, and how you create a table through that. So how do you create a table? Create the command for SQL command will be create table student, the name of the table, circular bracket, student ID not null, name varchar. These are the data types you can give instead of ID, I think int also you can give. Varchar 30 not null, address varchar 30. Now if you want to create student ID as a primary key, so here you are writing primary key student ID. This is how you create a SQL code for that. Now suppose you have country and city. This is one-to-one relationship. So country has a capital, city, right? Then how do you implement this into uh, the database code? So if you have to create this, so you will say create table country, right? You have country code, country name. So you have country code int not null, country name varchar 30 not null, and your primary key you are saying is primary key is country code. This is in MySQL they have created, right? Then you have another one which is city. This is your city. So you are saying create table city. So in circular brackets you are saying city code, city name, right? City code in not null, city name varchar 30 not null, right? Now you have a one-to-one relationship. So country code int not null, you have added country code also, the primary key of the country inside the city table. So this will act as a foreign key. So now primary key is city code of city table, and foreign key country code references country. This way you create a foreign key. So country code is a foreign key and it is referred in the country from the country table, references country. This is how you make it, right? Same way, now you have a this kind of a relationship: university, employee, right? So now university is there, employee is table is there, right? So these are the two things, but uh, you have one to many relationship. So in between you have also created a university employee. So what will happen? University employee. So university and employee will have this, and university employee the table will have a university ID, employee ID as the primary key as well as the foreign key here. So if we go here, if you see here, create table university ID, name, university address, and the primary key is university ID. And create table employee ID, employee name, employee address, primary key is employee ID for the employee table. Now you have create table university EMP, right? In this university ID, employee ID, job title, salary you are giving. So Primary key, university ID, employee ID are the primary key also, and foreign key, university ID references university, and a foreign key, employee ID references employee. So these these both will be primary key as well as foreign key in this university employee. If this kind of a relationship is there, this one to many relationship, right? Same way here also, course student, and you have registered for, right? So you have table course, primary key is course code, table student, primary key is student ID, table registered for, where course code and student ID and qualification which is a part of this, right? So course code and student ID are the primary keys which you will add, and primary key, course code and student ID are primary keys also, and foreign keys also in the registered form. So this kind of a thing. This is a ternary relationships. Course, student, assignment, ternary table. So you have course, student, assignment, and a ternary table. So you have course code, student ID, assignment ID, three of them inside the ternary table. Right. So they will be acting as the primary key as well as foreign key. Yeah. Primary key as well as the foreign key. So same way, if we see ours here, the customer, so you will say create table customer in circular brackets customer. You will have to create primary key also here. So customer ID, you can create customer ID int not null, uh, right? See customer name, you can say varchar 30, not null. Customer phone, so if you want phone number to be compulsory, you can say not null here, right? So integer not null. Customer address varchar 30, customer pin, so pin also you require again in number. So integer not null. Customer email, again string varchar. So this is your customer table, right? And you have order table. So order ID will be part of this customer table, right? Why? Because we have to create a relationship between both the tables. So order table will have order day, order ID, order date, product sold by, product order cost. So this will be your order table. Product. So customer table will have the foreign key as order ID, right? Now order and product table and order line, these three are there. So now what will happen, you have created order table, now create product table. Product, product ID, product name, product manufacturer, product, so product ID is there, sorry, product ID is already there. Product name, product manufacturer, product ID, unit price, unit in units in stock. So this you have created the table. Now order line, this order line will have order ID, product ID as the primary key as well as foreign key, apart from quantity and unit sale price. This is how you create tables in a database. So if we create tables in a database, if we say that, so you will say create table. So first table is the customer, right? And remember that it is always small case everything. Customer, and first is customer ID, right? You can say int, right? If you want, you can give the size of the customer ID also, how much size you want. Otherwise we are saying not null, right? Customer name, C name, right? Varchar 30, again not null. Then what was it? Phone address pin. So If you want, you can keep it like this. It's not compulsory. Pin, if 4-digit pin, if you can give the size. What else was there? Email. And then you say primary key in capital letters. So primary key is in the brackets you will give customer ID is the primary key, right? So this is your table which will be created like this. So this is the customer table. Same way you will create the order table. Order ID, order date, product sold by, product order cost. Right? So order cost, I think in currency, I don't remember what is the data type currency is there. Right? Product sold by. So I think the name or something will be there and order date. So this will be data type for this and order ID. That you create product table you create, and when you create order line. So if you are creating order line, so suppose we are create table order line, right? Inside this, the order ID, order ID, suppose that is integer. Sorry, suppose that is integer, and product ID, right? And the values of the quantity and unit sale price. Quantity, if you want to keep it not null, you can keep not null here. Quantity and unit price. I don't remember the data type for that. So that is there. Then, so you will say primary key. So primary key are two order ID and product ID. These are the primary key as well as the foreign key. So foreign key again, foreign key. So you will give foreign key here. So foreign key is first one is your order ID, references, which table, order table, right? And again foreign key, product ID, references, product table. This will be your order line table, right? This is how you will create. Like here they have created. Postcode goes ID as the primary key, and other things are there, and then the three primary keys and foreign key are referred in the ternary table. The same way, right? Any doubts in this class? Any doubts, class? Anybody has any doubts? So remember, whatever software you are using, according to that, if you are able to use star UML, that is also good. If you are able to use this, you can use it, right? You can convert this thing into generate C++ code. So you can generate the code also, right? So that is what is required here. In star UML also you can convert a diagram into a code. That is also there. In star UML also it is there. So you have different softwares. Remember to study about all these things. You should keep in mind whatever you have seen. So we have to go through all these things. These diagrams are important. These sorry, 9 diagrams. Deployment is also there. So class diagram, what is the definition? How to draw the class diagram? That you should know the attribute operations, right? And then you should know the relationships, right? Uh, then object diagram is also there. Object diagram is similar to class diagram. Only thing is there, in object diagram you give the value of the object, right? So if we go for, I don't know which unit it is given. So in the first unit, keep in mind that you have to study what is OOAD, right? Then what is OA, what is OM, what is object OM and this OD, right? So OM, that is object oriented modeling, is divided into various stages. So that is requirement analysis, designing, defining design in the system. So this is what the structure is. So you have to study that. Or what is OMT? Object modeling technique. You have three types of models: object model, dynamic model, functional model. So you have to define what is the object model, which describe the objects and the relationship. Dynamic model describe the interaction among the objects and information flow. So object model will be class diagram and object diagram. Dynamic model will be interaction like sequence diagram and activity diagram, something like that. And functional model describes the data transformation, which is DFD, right? So that is there. So they are defining here object modeling. Every object has some attribute and behavior, so, right? So the object model can be represented graphically with the help of class diagram and object diagram. And dynamic modeling, it is concerned with time, state, and transition. So state chart diagram and all that will come in this. Functional modeling is DFD, transformation of data, right? Three types of models. So you have to study that. Then principles of object orientation, you should know what are the principles of object orientation: abstraction, polymorphism, encapsulation, inheritance. So these are the concepts you should know. Then basic constructs of the object orientation, just like classes and objects, links and association, generalization and inheritance. So they can be asked as a short notes in question number 5 in theory. So what are classes? What are objects? Right. So classes have attributes and operations, right? So they are what are objects. So you should, so if in an object model, this is how it is represented. In a class, it is represented like this, like class, attribute and operation. In an object, you will say object colon class. So object name colon the class, and attribute 1 is equal to the value of that attribute, attribute 2 is equal to value of that attribute, something like that. So object is considered as a physical entity. Class is defined as an entity that exists logically. Any number of objects can be created for a class. Right? Class is declared once. In 10 instance of a class is an object, class is used to group similar objects. Then they're talking about links and associations. So what are links and associations? They are the means to establish relationship among objects and classes. Right? So you should define that. What is association or link? So association is a relationship between two or more objects or classes. Association classes are similar as classes describe objects, and association describe links. Right. So one-to-one relationship, one-to-many relationship, ternary relationship is also there. So there are multiplicity. You are defining zero or one, zero or more, one or more, n, that is only n, where n is greater than one, zero or n, one to n. Right. Then there are two types of associations, special type of association: aggregation and composition. So aggregation is a special form of association. It is represented by a diamond like this, which it models a part, whole, or a part of, or has a relationship as an aggregate. The whole and part, that program student is student program student program are part of the student, so something like that. So the is a relationship refers to inheritance. So this is not is a relationship, it is a has a or a whole part whole relationship, right? That is there. Then generalization, that is inheritance, and then generalization and inheritance are powerful abstraction for sharing the structure and or behavior of one or more classes. So generalization is a relationship between a class, and it defines a hierarchy of abstraction in which subclasses, one or more, inherit. So this is how you, with a triangle, you represent the class and their subclasses, right? So that is what they are talking about. So they here they are showing the generalization, like university has administration, faculty, and registration. Registration has, I think this should be represented not with a triangle. This should be represented with a aggregation. A diamond should be there instead of triangle. Then student are of different types. This can be represented as inheritance. Students are of different types: PG student, diploma student, UG student, right? So you have PG students are of different types, MCA, MBA. So this can be divided, right? So that is what they are talking about. Then they have given you the different types of softwares which are there. So in this, it is not there. I go to the second unit. So remember, you should know what is UML. You can be asked about UML also. Unified Modeling Language is a standard modeling language, and it is different from other programming languages like C and Java, C++ and Java. It is a pictorial language used to build models for software systems. UML is used to design models for large, medium, as well as small applications. UML was created by Object Management Group, so you should know that. So the diagrams under UML are of two types: structural diagram and behavioral diagram. Structural diagram are like we study class diagram, component diagram, object diagram, then deployment diagram. Class, component, object, and deployment. These diagram we study under structure. Behavioral diagram we study activity diagram, use case diagram, state machine or state chart diagram, sequence diagram. These we earn communication diagram, that is collaboration diagram. These we study under behavioral diagrams. That they are telling you. So this is what they are talking about, the class diagrams thing. We am just going forward. So relationship you can tell. So this is a class diagram they have created. I just wanted to show the object diagram which is there. So how do you create an object diagram? Like you have a class like car company. For that, a car company, Tata Motors is an object, Hindustan Motors is an object, the thing. So how do you create that? Suppose car classes, car name, price, add car and remove car. For that, if you have to create this object for this car class, Renault colon car, name is equal to Kiger, price is equal to 8 lakh. So something like that. This is how object diagram is there. So the like country name, so India colon country, name is equal to India, so something like that you have to create object diagram. You have to give the value of that particular thing. That is your object diagram. So always remember, all the units in your this has questions, right? uh, Check progress questions. Do practice those questions and see the answers from the book. So remember to study those things. So according to your syllabus, you have to study all these things one by one. The diagrams, the definition of the diagram, class diagram, object diagram, use case diagram, sequence diagram, collaboration diagram, state chart diagram, activity diagram, component diagram. The definition of this. Apart from that, you have to study about persistent data, inheritance, all these things you have to also know, right? So when you go for your question papers, if we go for question paper, so we have seen one of the question papers of June. Now if we see for December 2023, so again, remember that first question is compulsory and you have to attempt any three from the rest. So first question is, object-oriented analysis and design is better than structured analysis and design. Explain in detail, justify the above statement. So you have to explain this. Again, in unit 1 OAD, this is given. You can read that. What is UML? I told you, Unified Modeling Language. What are its advantages? Draw class diagram for ATM system. Again, here you have to draw the class diagram. Right? What is inheritance? Explain advantages of inheritance. So here, one of the advantages, it helps in reusability of code. Then next is, what is an association? I told you, you have to know the definition of association. Explain use of link in representation of association with the help of a diagram. So you have to show that. Again, you have to draw a diagram and show. Simple diagram like student and teacher, what relationship. What is a design documentation? Briefly explain the features of good design documentation. So in block 3, we have done design documentation and that. So you can read that. It is why design documentation is essential. So you have to write the features. What is functional model? So functional model is your uh, uh, data transformation model where you define the DFD. So which diagram is used in functional model? DFD is used, data flow diagram, explain in brief. Right? What is now the this was your question number one. All the questions are compulsory. Question number one is compulsory, which is of 40 marks. From second, third, fourth, and fifth, you have to attempt any three. So second A, what is state transition diagram? Now definition of state transition diagram you should know. Draw state transition diagram for an ATM machine. So again, see it is asking you ATM machine. It is given in your book also. State transition diagram, like you insert the card, start, and you insert the card, and what all things happen in the ATM machine. So you can draw that. What is generalization? Again, they are asking you question about generalization. How is it different from specialization? Explain with an example using suitable UML diagram. So for generalization, you will use class diagram only. So you will draw class diagram here. What is a constraint? Constraint is a condition. Explain how constraints are shown in class diagram. So constraints are shown as a dotted line with a symbol is there. If we think in this only, the symbols were given, I think, for the class diagram. Second. This is how constraint is symbol is there, and with a dotted line you give a constraint. This is the symbol for constraint. So constraint is a condition. So they are explaining each of. So it is a condition for UML element. Whatever element is there, it is a condition. That is there. Then what? See, what is serialization, which we saw right now in DBMS, right? What is serialization? Explain its use. So serialization is basically some part of the state of an object is kept, and later on you are implementing the later part afterwards. So you are keeping that state somewhere. So that is serialization. Explain the difference between unidirectional and bidirectional association. Unidirectional is one way, and bidirectional is both ways. Explain how bidirectional association is implemented. So you have to give an example of that. What is a component diagram? Again, the definition of component diagram, you should know what are its advantages. Draw component diagram for ATM system. So whatever is given in your practical book now, it is related to ATM only. So in your practical book, if you go for your practical book, the diagrams given are for ATM system only generally. But that is not necessary that you should go for ATM system only, right? So like here, this is banking system, right? This is a use case diagram for bank ATM. Activity diagram is given, state chart diagram is given, right? So that way you should go for the here ATM system is there, use case sequence diagram for ATM system is there, state transition diagram, activity diagram. So all are for ATM system generally, collaboration diagram, deployment diagram generally, right? Then what is aggregation? Explain again. Aggregation is asked, the special type of association, which is a whole part relationship or has a relationship. Explain the use of aggregation in object oriented system designed with the help of an example. Then fifth question is write short notes on the following: abstract class, use case diagram, sequence diagram, object class, and database tables. So these you have to define. Short notes you have to give. So either you can do second or third, second, third, fourth, or you can do third, fourth, fifth, or you can do second, fourth, fifth, whatever. Any three, whichever you know. So these are your questions which will be asked in your theory. So practical point of view and theory point of view, in both you have to know the how to make a diagram in both ways. That is important, right? Any doubt that anybody is having up till now? Any doubt, class?
No, madam.
Anything you want to ask? Any topic or any thing which is left or which is not understood by you?
मैम एक बार serialization बता देंगे.
अच्छा, ठीक है. परसिस्टेंसी तो समझ गए थे. वो उसके बारे में भी आ सकता है आपको. परसिस्टेंसी तो समझ गए आप. मैं कहाँ पे देखा था सीरियल? Just sharing my screen. So see here in your check progress, always remember to read this bidirectional relationship. Everything is given in your book. This is fourth block. Block 4 is there. Persistency is there. So read about persistency. Yeah, this is there. Serialization. So serialization is the process of transforming an object into byte streams. So what you are doing is, like in Java also, you convert the data or objects into byte, right? Why do you create a byte stream? Anybody can answer that? अगर आप बाइट्स में कन्वर्ट करके डेटा को स्टोर कर रहे हो, बाइट स्ट्रीम टू स्टोर द ऑब्जेक्ट टू मेमोरी और अ डेटाबेस, सो व्हाट विल हैपन? एक तो प्लेटफॉर्म इंडिपेंडेंट हो जाएगा आपका कोड, किसी भी प्लेटफॉर्म पे आप उसे चला सकते हो. एक तो ये है. दूसरा, आपका क्या फायदा होगा कि आपका जो सपोज आपका जो ऑब्जेक्ट है वो आधा प्रोसेस कंप्लीट हुआ है उस ऑब्जेक्ट पे. उसका स्टेट मतलब किसी लेवल पे हम आपको पूरा प्रोसेस नहीं कर पाए हो, आप आधा प्रोसेस उस ऑब्जेक्ट पे कर पाए हो. तो जितना भी आप कर पाए हो उसका स्टेट आप उसी लेवल पे स्टोर कर सकते हो, ताकि आप लेटर ऑन उसको दोबारा से रिक्रिएट कर सको, वहीं से स्टार्ट कर सको जहाँ पे वो स्टॉप हुआ था. उसे सीरियलाइजेशन कहते हैं. So the serialization's main objective is to save an object state so that it recreates when needed. जब आपको चाहिए तो आप उसको वापस recreate करके उसे use करके उसका final चीज कर सको. और उसका inverse होता है deserialization. जो कि आपका प्रोसेस होता है, वापस आप उस बाइट स्ट्रीम को कन्वर्ट करते हो नॉर्मल फॉर्म में। तो सीरियलाइजेशन एक्चुअली ट्रांसफॉर्म करता है ऑब्जेक्ट को बाइट स्ट्रीम में स्टोर करने के लिए मेमोरी में। समझ में आया कि नहीं? आप किसी भी लेवल पे उस ऑब्जेक्ट का स्टेट रिक्रिएट कर सकते हो जब आप चाहो। दैट इज सीरियलाइजेशन। तो
मैम
बेसिकली
सीरियलाइजेशन की वजह से ही ORM पॉसिबल हुआ मैम।
ORM मतलब
ऑब्जेक्ट रिलेशनल मैपिंग मैम।
काइंड ऑफ, जैसे यहाँ पे इन्होंने बोला जावा में, जावा प्रोवाइड सीरियलाइजेशन विद द यूज ऑफ सीरियलाइजेबल इंटरफेस। दिस इंटरफेस इज अ मार्कर इंटरफेस which does not declare any data members and methods. Using this interface mark, the Java classes and objects of these classes may get a certain ability. When it is done, the methods write object of object output stream classes used for serializing an object and read object of object input classes. Input stream class is used for deserializing up. This way, persistent can be implemented in Java. Persistent data को implement करना है तो आप ये serialization का use करते हो store करने के लिए database में उसका state, ताकि आप वापस उसको जहाँ तक वो उसका प्रोसेस हुआ है और वो स्टोर हुआ है, जो जो भी उसमें वैल्यू है, उसको वहां से आप दोबारा से रिक्रिएट कर सको, दोबारा से यूज कर सको। दैट इज सीरियलाइजेशन। परसिस्टेंट का मतलब है आप स्टोर कर रहे हो ना डेटाबेस के अंदर, परमानेंट स्टोरेज, राइट। अब वो परमानेंट स्टोरेज आपका कई बार ऑब्जेक्ट जो है वो फुली रन नहीं हो पाया है, हाफ वे रन हुआ है, हाफ वे उसका स्टेट कहीं पहुंचा है, तो वो फुली रन नहीं हो पाया, आपने उसका जैसा जैसा वो था वो वैसा वैसा उसको स्टोर कर दिया अपने डेटाबेस में। अब नेक्स्ट टाइम आप उसे यूज करना चाहते हो, आप उसको उसका जो जितना भी स्टेट था वहीं से उसे उठाया और उसको यूज किया और उसको कंप्लीट किया, उसका जो भी स्टेट था, उसके लिए यूज होता है सीरियलाइजेशन, राइट। अब जैसे कि आप फॉर एग्जांपल आप आप ऐड करते रहते हो ना अपने, क्या कहते हैं इसमें शॉपिंग करते हो, तो शॉपिंग करते हो आप किसी भी ऐप से, तो आप अपने कार्ट में ऐड कर रहे हो ऑब्जेक्ट्स, राइट। So you are not paying right now, you are just added the object, sometime you remove it, sometime you add it, राइट। तो आपका वो ऑब्जेक्ट वहीं रहता है ना, रिमूव करते हो तो हट जाता है, ऐड करते हो तो वहीं रहता है, आपने अभी तक पेमेंट नहीं किया है ना चेकआउट किया है, ठीक है। तो एंड यू क्लोज योर ऐप, स्टिल द ऑब्जेक्ट इज देयर, नेक्स्ट टाइम यू ओपन योर ऐप तब भी वो आपके कार्ट में वो चीजें आपने ऐड की थी वो रहती है ना, चली तो नहीं जाती हैं, यस और नो। तो दैट इज हाउ सीरियलाइजेशन इज हैपनिंग। सीरियलाइजेशन मींस आपका वो जो भी स्टेट था लास्ट, जो भी आपने सेव किया था वो वैसा का वैसा रहेगा, लेटर ऑन आप उसको आगे बढ़ा सकते हो, उसको यूज कर सकते हो। दैट इज व्हाट सीरियलाइजेशन इज। एग्जांपल ये, राइट। एनी अदर क्वेश्चन?
गुड मॉर्निंग मैम।
हाँ जी, गुड
मैम
मॉर्निंग।
माय क्वेश्चन इज आउट ऑफ द क्लास। मैम मुझे ये पूछना है कि प्रैक्टिकल एग्जाम जो हमारा होगा, सो इट विल बी हैंड्स ऑन प्रैक्टिस, हैंड्स ऑन एक्सरसाइज, और वाइवा कैसे होगा?
आपका क्या MCA OL है, MCA ODL है?
यस मैम, OL ऑनलाइन।
OL है तो आपका वाइवा बेस्ड फॉर्मेट में होगा।
ओके मैम।
जिनका ODL है उनका तो सेंटर पे उनको क्वेश्चन पेपर आएगा and they have to do it on the system available at the center. OL वालों का वाइवा बेस्ड फॉर्मेट में होगा, राइट। बट प्रैक्टिकल एग्जाम विल बी लेटर ऑन, नॉट राइट नाउ।
यस मैम।
after the theory exam, and maybe beginning of August, or because your date sheet of your theory exam have been extended 12th से है शायद आपका theory exam 12th से start हो रहा है, not 2nd of June, तो 12th of June से हो रहा है, तो वो extend हो गया 19th of July तक हो गया शायद, मतलब लास्ट थ्योरी एग्जाम जो होगा जिस भी प्रोग्राम का होगा, मतलब कहने का ये मतलब है आफ्टर दैट ओनली, आफ्टर द थ्योरी एग्जाम एंड ऑफ जुलाई और स्टार्टिंग ऑफ अगस्त में आपका प्रैक्टिकल एग्जाम होगा, उसका आपको अलग से मेल या वो सब आ जाएगा।
यस मैम, थैंक यू मैम।
बिल्कुल। और कोई क्वेश्चन है किसी का? Everybody has put their name and enrollment number for the attendance in the chat box. कोई रहता है? सबने अपना अटेंडेंस डाल दिया है? Is there any question, or we can end the class today, and your last class is next Saturday. That will be your last class, so we will meet in the class then and discuss, find out what all doubts you have, what all problems you are facing. So we will discuss that in the next class, which is there.
Madam, next class is Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday, I think. I have not seen the date sheet, the schedule. I'm just.
It is 25th Sunday.
It is on
25th. 25th.
It is on 25th Sunday.
Sunday.
Okay, no problem. Doesn't matter if it's on Saturday or Sunday. Just seeing your 25th Sunday it is, yes. No problems. Even if it is Sunday, we will talk about that on Sunday then, next class which is there. Any questions apart from that? Has everybody submitted their assignments?
Yes ma'am.
If you want to discuss something, we can continue the class. Otherwise, we'll end the class. Just remember what all things I have told you to study. Keep that in mind. Study all those things which are there, right? And download the previous 5 question papers from the IGNOU website, and you can practice them, or you can write the answers to them. Even if you go through those question papers, previous 5 question papers, you will be prepared for your examination. Remember that in your theory exam, those who are giving the theory exam, you have to draw, right, the diagram. So you should know how to draw the diagram, whatever diagrams are there. Remember that, right? So I am ending the class today.
Yes
If you
ma'am.
have any right, we'll meet on next Sunday, right? So take care. And
Thank
bye.
you.
Thank you,
Bye.
madam.
Thank you
Bye.
ma'am.